to introduce it now as well, when Keir Starmer went to the NFU conference earlier this year and empathised with the tragedy of losing a family farm and promised he'd never do it. So everyone's angry with Boris Johnson's lies. From our perspective, we're really angry with Keir Starmer coming to our conference and lying to us. And that's why farmers are really more angry than ever. There's been no...
Keir Starmer is a cunning politician who lies without batting an eyelid. Where are the promises he made during his campaign? He once claimed he would improve the lives of British farmers, but now those who place their trust in him are suffering under the draconian policies he's enforcing. Let's delve into the rising anger of British farmers towards Starmer. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on the latest developments in UK politics.
Timetable to get used to this, either if they'd introduced it slowly so it could be hedged against, and that'd be fine. But then you sort of look at how much they're going to raise. It's actually minuscule, and it's really going to favour big corporations that want to come in and buy up land for other purposes, more factory farming, all of the rest of it, and develop the land and ensure more imports from the other side of the world, which are disastrous for climate change.
In recent days, the entire country has witnessed a surge of outrage from farmers over the Labour Party's plan to impose inheritance taxes on agricultural machinery. The backlash has escalated to the point where farmers have decided to stage a surprise protest at the Labour Party's annual conference in Llandudno, Wales this weekend. This isn't just a simple standoff between the government and farmers. It marks a critical turning point for the entire agricultural sector in the UK. The Labour Party's new inheritance tax policy, which ostensibly targets high-value assets, is instead hitting family farms hard. Farms that have been the backbone of traditional British agriculture for generations. Announced by Chancellor Rachel Reeves as a means to boost public revenue, this plan has sparked a fierce wave of anger among farmers. The National Farmers Union, NFU, has vehemently opposed the policy, arguing that it would push 66% of farms to the brink of bankruptcy, even as the government insists that only a small percentage would be affected. This has heightened tensions between farmers and the government to unprecedented levels. The upcoming Labour Party conference in Llandudno is set to become the epicentre of this confrontation. Early on Saturday morning, thousands of farmers are expected to flood the North Wales seaside town, bringing along tractors, slurry tankers and large trucks in preparation for a massive protest. The Enough is Enough campaign has been widely launched, calling on farmers nationwide to stand up against this tax plan. Long lines of tractors will form a formidable barricade, visibly displaying the farmers' resolute determination to defend their livelihoods. The striking image of over 100 tractors, with Union Jacks fluttering in the wind, creates a powerful spectacle. Farmers, their faces tense but eyes filled with determination, chant in unison, "No farmers, no food, no future." They believe that Keir Starmer's inheritance tax policy is not just an economic decision, but a direct threat to the very survival of British agriculture. One farmer remarked, "This tax policy is like tightening a noose around our necks, pushing us to the edge of despair." The protest at the Labour Party conference is just the beginning. Farmers are also planning to halt all agricultural products from reaching the market, initiating a large-scale strike set to last a week. This action aims to pressure the government to acknowledge the severe negative impacts the new tax policy could have on both the economy and the nation's food security. The growing tension is further evidenced by the protest organisers' calls. They are urging people to bring any means possible to create a demonstration in French style, involving the spreading of manure on the streets and potentially spraying it onto government office buildings. This act of defiance illustrates the deep-seated anger and frustration of farmers who feel they are being cornered by the restrictive and thoughtless tax policies of the government. Welsh First Minister Llandudno has called for calm, emphasising that only a small number of farms will be affected. However, her words have done little to placate the farmers' anger. One irate farmer retorted, "Calm down? Perhaps you'll have a wake-up call in Llandudno." This response highlights the profound dissatisfaction and determination of farmers to fight for their rights. The upcoming showdown between farmers and the government at both Whitehall and Llandudno is only the beginning of a larger wave of resistance. Farmers have decided they will no longer sit idly by and accept policies they deem unfair and unreasonable. The pressing question is, will Keir Starmer and the Labour Party heed the voices of the people before things spiral out of control? If the government doesn't act quickly to amend its approach, a severe food crisis could erupt, threatening national security and the livelihoods of millions. This conflict goes beyond a mere dispute over inheritance taxes. It's a matter of survival for thousands of family-run farms, the pillars of the UK's agricultural economy. As the nation's eyes turn towards Llandudno this weekend, the biggest question awaiting an answer is, will the farmers' protests be strong enough to force the government to rethink its stance? In a world where we might be able to live without politicians, but not without farmers who feed the entire nation, this remains a crucial issue for the country's future. According to a report by The Telegraph, Essex Police have decided not to investigate an academic who accused Sir Keir Starmer of serving Jewish genocide advocates. Instead, the police are currently investigating journalist Alison Pearson over a tweet she deleted last year. While The Telegraph did not specify the exact content of Pearson's tweet, it noted that she had been actively tweeting at the time about Hamas attacks on Israel and incidents of anti-Semitism. A teacher named Suzanne, who did not disclose her middle name, reported a tweet from Professor David Miller, a former University of Bristol lecturer, to Essex Police in October. Miller's tweet implied that the British Prime Minister supported Israel following a rocket attack from Iran, stating, "Now do you understand? For the past decade, your Prime Ministers haven't been working for you, but for a small group of Jewish genocide advocates." Professor Miller, who has a following of 79,000, further commented, "He's merely their puppet, willing to send your children to war for Israel." Suzanne, a 41-year-old Jewish woman, received this tweet from a friend and immediately reported it to Essex Police. She expressed her horror at reading such statements. Although she didn't believe Miller would cause direct harm, she worried that such views could incite others to attack the Jewish community. Suzanne also referenced a recent anti-Semitic attack in Amsterdam, highlighting the fear within the community of being held responsible for Israel's actions. Despite her concerns, Essex Police decided to close the case. An officer responded to Suzanne, acknowledging that the tone of these tweets could be concerning, especially given the complex Middle Eastern conflict context. However, they concluded that feelings of offence did not equate to criminal behaviour. In a follow-up correspondence on Monday, a day after the police visited Pearson's home, another officer clarified that the earlier comments were not meant to dismiss the affected person's feelings, but to emphasise that the remarks did not constitute racial hate speech. Professor David Miller was previously dismissed by the University of Bristol over his statements regarding Israel, but later won a legal case arguing that his dismissal was wrongful. When contacted by The Telegraph, Miller stated that his tweet was merely a response to Keir Starmer's call for the British public to support the Jewish genocide colony in Palestine, referring to the state of Israel in the conflict with Iran. Chief Superintendent Wahid Khan, head of Essex's hate crime division, reaffirmed, "The people of Essex have the right to live safely. We are committed to addressing all forms of hate crime and encourage victims to come forward." He emphasised that Essex police officers and volunteers are working tirelessly to ensure community safety, rejecting any form of hate crime in all its manifestations. What do people think about the issues we have discussed in today's video? Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on the latest political developments in the UK. Thank you all and see you in the next videos.